Good day and welcome to Iceland Roundup. This time we're gonna try to tell you, 5 or 6 news stories from the past week in Iceland.
Wow, we never managed.
Yeah, realistically, we will probably only make it through like 3.
4. Yeah. We do 4.
4?
Yeah,
we do.
I think we do 4.
Okay, wow.
I must fall asleep during the 4th one. I don't remember.
Well, it's all in a haze.
I just get like mesmerized when watching myself on YouTube when we do this, so I always zone out about what they're talking about.
Yeah, it's your pretty face that takes up all the focus, right?
Yeah.
That talks to me too.
Yeah. You can relate.
I'm just watching your face all the time.
Thank you.
It move like lips moving. I have no idea what's going on. Anyway, should we get into this?
I feel like we're already pretty deep in. I'm getting into it.
Well, on a less cheerful
Erotic
note.
Shouldn't we start with like you explaining who we are?
Oh
like
shit! Yeah. We forget. My name is Jón Trausti. I'm from the Reykjavík Grapevine. You are Aðalsteinn Kjartansson. Where do you work again, Aðalsteinn?
The Source.
The Source.
Heimildin. Yeah.
The hip hop magazine.
Yeah.
And Sindri Eldon.
I would love it if you explained who I was.
Former long-time contributor to the Reykjavík Grapevine. Always waiting for you to come back.
Yeah.
To contribute. You don't have to.
If the money's right. No, I mean it's a valid topic.
It's never been right.
That's what I mean.
We're in journalism.
Yeah. On that note, just send us money.
Please.
Please.
I thought you were getting so much money from the CIA.
Oh yeah, you saw that story
Well,
like Facebook status.
I can't stand the sound of his voice. Someone told me about it.
Yeah, I got numerous people were sending this to me, and I actually sent it to you.
Yeah.
So there's
the Bobby Fischer like CIA thing.
Yeah, so there's a guy whom I've known for 20 some years.
You're friends, right?
Sorta, yeah.
Yeah. And he was in bands back in the early 2000s.
I was in a band with him for like 5 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I've never been in a band.
When the Grapevine started out...
It's overrated, trust me. It's not as glamorous as it looks.
When the Grapevine started out, or the second summer, we had like a deal with a pizza place downtown called Pizza 67.
Where he worked?
Where he worked.
Yeah.
And we ate free pizza for lunch, and it was causing... I think we ate pizza to a point where we kind of, like, we wanted more, but it was killing us. But anyway, he was serving us. And
the supersized me concept.
Yes.
For the Pizza 67.
Very much. It's like, kill me, I want more.
If you eat 67 pizzas, you get a 68th one for free.
Pizza 67, that's like a still thing in the Faroe Islands.
There's one left in the Faroe Islands, and I think there's one left in the Westman Islands.
William should go there and work there.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, so anyway, he was saying something to the effect that 20 years ago, I guess, when Bobby Fischer was still alive, he was telling Guðjón that the Reykjavík Grapevine was definitely a CIA mouthpiece, because we were saying something, like we were using the same talking points, according to Bobby Fischer, who was definitely a very sane, sort of grounded guy. And if people don't know, we eventually, I think we decided to give him citizenship.
Yeah, we adopted Bobby Fischer.
Yeah, he was in jail in Japan for something that he'd done. I can't remember what, probably hate speech or whatever. And we adopted him, and then he lived here for a few years before he passed. So anyway, he was making this point that we were definitely a CIA asset.
Bobby Fischer died here.
Yeah. He's buried in Kirkjugarðin á Selfossi.
Yeah, he's buried in Selfoss.
Yeah.
It's a Selfoss. I love it.
So I guess he was the guy in question on Facebook was posting a picture of our cover, reminiscing about this story, and then like pondering the question whether or not Bobby Fischer might have been right. I guess that probably has something to do with our cover piece, which was kind of on the security situation in a changing world, but the security situation of Iceland in a changing world.
I feel like me and Sindri, we should like ask the tough questions now.
Yeah, sure.
Are you a CIA mouthpiece?
Well, I commented on the post and said we were a mouthpiece of...
If you are, just squeeze my thigh real quick. You don't have to say it on camera.
Well, I told them that we were a mouthpiece of the USAID,
the
CIA, and the BBC, and BB King, Mac Bowlesby, and never mind. It's a.
So you
do you know the reference?
A joke.
No, I'm just laughing at what I thought was a cleverly constructed joke, but I
No,
see
it's
you
actually-
clearly pilfered from someone else.
It's Beatles lyrics.
Oh, you accused me of quoting the Beatles the other day, which is wild. I never listened to the Beatles.
No, anyway, so people are quite quick with like also saying like maybe we were USAID funded too. I wish we were,
Yeah,
because
that'd be cool.
then we could actually get you back writing for the right amount of money.
I might have some money.
Yeah. You could get paid for this podcast.
Yeah. Amongst other things. Jesus Christ. Thanks for bringing that up. It's on our to-do list. But in that case,
I want a clear answer though.
yes.
Yes or no? Are you a CIA mouthpiece?
I am not.
Okay. A bit disappointed.
Yeah, I know. Is there any CIA mouthpieces in Iceland you know of?
No.
There's like
Other than Guðnheiðar?
Well, I think somebody like one of our contributors commented on this. One of the people who sent it to me and said like, is it possible, Guðnheiðar, that the two of us only disagree because you actually are an operative of the Heritage Foundation, which is a clever way of turning a table. A
I
bit.
mean, it's wild because wasn't that cover piece very anti-America? Kind of like
we have to like turn away from America and figure stuff out.
Well,
Yeah.
it was kind of like balanced in a way that it was saying, we should definitely keep talking to America and having relations with America, but we kind of have to start looking
relations with America.
Yes, okay. But we have to kind of start looking eastwards now towards the
China and Russia,
continent of Europe. No, for maybe. Well, when it comes to like protecting our sovereignty and stuff, we kind of have to look that way. And anyway, it's
actually Heimildin.
Not the wildest theory ever. It's a very logical.
It is so unwild that like there's a couple of like ancient former politicians who are now in their like 70s and 80s, who's kind of ancient, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, in our context, not in USA context, where nobody makes it into
the gerontocracy.
Yeah, when they're kind of reaching like the end of the Soviet Union when it comes to the age of their leaders. But sort of Brezhnev stuff, but Andropov, never mind.
Wow.
I kind of lost
now
my...
we're just name dropping.
Yeah, we are. Gorbachev was younger. I had completely lost...
I mean, at least they were on message. Like, if you read some of the stuff Chuck Schumer's been saying lately, it's just like, what is he even saying? Like, what does this even mean?
Yeah.
At least Brezhnev was still,
articulating...
toting the
line.
The towing the line.
Yeah.
I think you're
saying
one
shit
of the...
that made sense.
So, yeah, the two politicians I'm referring to are former ministers for the Independence Party.
Yeah. Thorsteinn Pálsson, maybe.
One of them is Thorsteinn Pálsson, whose blog I actually pay attention to, because he writes great op-eds.
And it's also like a greatly named blog. Af Kögunarhóli.
Af Kögunarhóli, yeah, which is nobody understands anymore.
It's like from the hill you look to the sea from.
Yeah. Well, which is like, yeah. And then there's the other one was Björn Bjarnason on his 30-year-old blog on björn.is.
Yeah.
And I mean, what they were saying is essentially...
Many a wise thing he said over the years.
Yes.
Well, in this case,
you can
they
read
were...
the entire archive online.
In this case, they were kind of... I mean, they're obviously grew up in the Cold War era. So Thorsteinn Pálsson actually made the point that it's kind of like the Cold War era again, where you have where we kind of look to the United States for our sort of sovereignty and security, but still had a pretty good relationship with the Kremlin, and bought stuff from them and sold them fish and got some latas and volkas and whatnot.
Some latas,
a
lot of latas.
But it's kind of looks like it's being turned 180, where we have to look to Europe for those things and still maintain a good connection to the United States. But not for sovereignty or protection.
No, maybe we get some, like, escalates.
But read all about it on grapevine.is.
Maybe they'll send us some Teslas.
We actually...
Because we need some more.
We had a cover story on Friday at Heimildin, the source, about pretty much the same thing. We just copied what you did and put
like
put
you always
in
do.
Icelandic. Yeah. But...
Did you use GTP this time around, or did you actually do the work of translating?
No, Grok.
Grok, you used Grok,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
Just like frequent messages to Grok on Twitter or X.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know how to use Grok.
X. No, I only use Grok to fact check Elon Musk on X.
Yeah, I helped you write a bot.
Yeah, we should create a bot for it because I can't be bothered.
But what I was going to say is like we spoke to a lot of people like in Iceland and also within NATO countries, not NATO itself necessarily, but the advice that we get from like everywhere is do not remind Trump that you exist. It's like do nothing, say nothing. And according to what we hear, that's now like the unofficial foreign policy of Iceland.
Yep.
It's like you have to like speak to the nation and tell them like we're doing stuff, but please do not actually do stuff.
Quiet.
Don't
like,
poke the bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Picture Trump just like frothing over some map of Greenland in the Oval Office, and it's like, "What's this? What's this thing here?" It's just like, "Oh, that's just some food, sir. It's not a real country."
That's what Greenland feeds on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you placed a coffee cup there. It's just like a...
Just volcanoes and boring stuff.
Yeah, so, I mean, is it smart of us to, like, extend our, what's it called, landgrunn? Or,
that's one of the stories from today that the...
Oh, sorry, am I jumping?
No, that's perfect segue into that story.
Thank you.
I'm a perfectly framed. Thank you, Aðalsteinn. It sounds like you do this for a living.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It sounds like I get paid to do this.
Should I leave the room or?
Well, you actually brought this up before recording.
Yeah, I find it kind of fascinating.
So I guess when we talk about the fishing rights of countries, it escapes me what this is called. Our economic area or something, our fisheries sort of 200-mile thing around Iceland.
Yeah, it's like
I know the Iceland
maritime border.
Yeah,
something. Yeah,
and it is usually it's just coast. It's based on the sort of coastline, and this is why it's good to have sort of islands somewhere like Norway has for Jan Mayen and
like
and
that
Svalbard.
one we keep slapping concrete on up north.
Well, I think hasn't that one completely just given up on land and disappeared?
Okay.
Yeah, I
we
think
gave
so.
up on that.
Kolben
They quietly let it
just
crumble into the ocean. Okay.
But I mean, it's great for Norway. They have like Jan Mayen, where nobody ever lives, and it extends their.
Yeah, people live in Jan Mayen.
No, just
it's like 50 people or something.
Stranded skiers.
Yeah,
I think it's living there more. It's more like an outpost for like weather stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Okay,
We can look this up.
Yeah.
All right.
Ask Grok.
Anyway, the part of this is also that they take into account sometimes when they're deciding on these maritime borders, whether or not sort of the island in this case extends underwater to some extent, and that kind of expands your maritime borders. And
yeah, it's
the
basic
UN
maritime topography. You know, like the ridge is part. You know,
Yeah,
Hawaii is technically the largest state in the U.S. You know, if you factor in just like the geological size of the territory.
Yeah, and you ignore the fact that most of it is underwater. So the rich Iceland
shouldn't fish have, you know, some say in the matter? Like, we depend on them. Like, if all these states that are full of basically nothing but sheep and rolling fields of wheat are allowed 2 senators each, you know, shouldn't Hawaii be given some special consideration for the massive implications to, you know, the global, you know, biology of the ocean?
We have to think about this
biology of the ocean. Wow, we're like
we should think about.
I'm like a coffee cup away from turning that into an actual sentence. Like if we had refills going, I could have done better.
No, this is just,
but from
the big words.
From the point of view of fish, obviously.
Don't mean shit, do they?
From the point of view of fish, this makes more sense. Okay, Jan Mayen,
a remote Arctic island, we knew that, belonging to Norway, we knew that, has no permanent population. However, it's staffed year-round by a small Norwegian team, usually around 18 people.
All right. So both of us are wrong and right, I guess.
Yeah, I'll admit I was like completely wrong. I thought it was like a small town.
No. There's it's too sort
I'm thinking
remote.
Of
Svalbard?
Yeah,
they have more of a thing going on there.
Yeah.
So
it's a vibrant community.
By thing, you mean the movie The Thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, Iceland is sitting on this North Atlantic ridge. This is why we have volcanoes, because the tectonic plates that are on each side of the ridge are kind of moving slowly apart, and volcanic eruptions follow. And this is kind of like a massive underwater mountain ridge. And now we apparently have, the UN has kind of acknowledged that we own more of it now than we did, which is a mixed blessing if anybody brings this to the attention of the President of the United States.
Yeah, yes, because we have suddenly encroached, towards a considerable amount towards, But there's also, the small impediment of, Canada being
kind of in the way. Yeah. But this is great news for, I guess, the fisheries. We have more rights there.
Change?
No.
Really?
No. That's the other thing. It's like, the foreign minister, comes home we shall have ocean in our time. It's like this is some great victory, right? Yeah, but does the word of the United Nations mean dick anymore? I'm sorry, but the question has to be raised. Does this have actual meaning?
Yeah, but I haven't really I still don't understand what even if the United Nations acknowledge this, and even if everyone says okay, we'll do what you say, does it change anything for us?
No. I don't know.
It's the word, the theoretical word of some foreign diplomats that should we find anything of value there or want to do something weird there, that they would be open to the idea.
But I think it's official policy of the Icelandic government. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this changed with the new government, that we will not be searching for gas and oil, which is pretty much the only thing of value to
when I say things of value, it's a euphemism for oil, isn't it?
There might be some metals or something, but
purely, to take that side of the argument, purely from a scientific standpoint, there's so much we could learn from these undersea, ridges and volcanoes. It's conceivably the origin of all life on Earth.
Yeah, you have lived in Iceland most of your life.
Yeah, this is about as interesting as Iceland gets, really.
And do you feel that we are a society of people eager to learn about the world around us?
We are as eager as the rest of the world to learn more about the fascinating universe in which we live. Which is, a way of saying that nobody gives a fucking shit.
All right, we can, since we're on the ocean floor here.
I think we can go lower.
We should maybe we should maybe segue this into a comment from the Japanese news. I think this morning or the last night or whatever, from Paul Watson.
Look at you reading Japanese news for this
podcast. Every morning. So
alert for Paul Watson.
So Paul Watson, who is one of those people that most Icelanders are familiar with, but doesn't hold the title Íslandsvinur, or Friend of Iceland.
You got to be in bed with the right people to get that. Sometimes literally.
But has kind of had the relationship with us for the past 40 years, let's say so. He said, I quote, "Our ongoing campaign is to stop illegal whaling activities this summer. We will be intervening against Icelandic whaling. That will start in June."
Woo!
He said to Japan Today, I think, today.
Japan Today, yesterday.
Which is technically, what, yesterday?
Yeah. Beats me. So so Watson is not exactly a novice. When
he hasn't said it yet, but he will?
He will, yeah. This is from the future.
Yeah.
So Watson is not a novice when it comes to interrupting whaling in Iceland. Famously, he his organization sunk a couple of whale boats in 1986 in the Reykjavík harbor. Was it Hvalur 3 and 4 or something?
Yeah, Hvalur something. Yeah. So they have 9 Hvalur.
They're so imaginative when it comes to naming their ships.
Yeah, we've
Hvalur means whale, by the way. So our whaling ships are named Whale 1, 2, 3, and 4.
And 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9. Not all of them are currently operational. I think the ones that got sunk back in the day are not in operation anymore.
No, I think they
scrap them or...
No, I think at least one of them is in Hvalfjörður.
Just on the beach, basically.
On the beach,
yeah. Right.
Getting the dried whale blood scraped off the sides.
It's basically a beached whale, is what you're saying.
Yeah. A beached whale.
Shit.
Number 4.
Yeah. It's the only time beached whales have ever been funny.
Yeah. And then
that's what we do here. We try to find the funny sides of things.
And then in 2023, his organization, or a different organization, was responsible for a protest that took place on basically exactly where those 2 whaling boats were sunk before, on 2 separate different whaling boats, where they kind of chained, like a couple of people chained themselves to the mast of 2 whaling boats for about 2 days, I think.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I guess we can look forward to Paul Watson visiting us this summer. At least one tourist whose name we now know beforehand.
Yeah.
I hope he brings homemade explosives.
Whoa.
Well, he's. I mean, these have been.
Well, he wouldn't bring them.
No.
He'd have to make them here. I don't think you can fly with any of those chemicals.
No.
Blubber is maybe good for explosions.
Interesting.
Yeah, ironically enough, the very animal he seeks to defend.
Anyway,
yeah, but
I mean, it kind of, this is all kind of goes back to the fact that whaling licenses were issued again this fall, just after the election by the outgoing.
Yeah, it was
minister.
After the election, before they formed a new government.
Yeah, by the what is the word for this?
Ice hot?
No. Well, that's not the word. By the
ice hot government.
By Bjarni Benediktsson, the former prime minister, who was apparently Minister of Fisheries for a few minutes because the left Greens had just left the
left Greens.
Greens.
That's what they do.
They leave. Had abandoned ship.
Yeah.
And these were criticized heavily. So he issued permits for 5 years to what? 2 different companies. One of them is was it more?
No, it's just one company hunting like mink whales.
Which is Whale Limited, which
Minky?
owns all those whale ships.
Yeah,
I don't know. Minky.
Yeah.
Minky whale. Anyway, so that's I guess that's the backstory.
But the thing is, like the license, it says it's for 5 years, but it renews itself each year, and it has a 5-year like
yeah,
it's like it's an indefinite license to hunt whale.
But the government can
with 5 years
withdraw from it.
Yeah, it's like you can say, oh, we're gonna stop this in 5 years.
So so it's on the books at least for 5 years, even if they withdraw. If the government withdraws tomorrow, it's gonna be 5 years. Okay,
and it's like designed that it has to be like 2 different governments because the term of Alþingi is 4 years. So even though they start with like saying, oh, no more whaling, there's a chance for another government to step in after 4 years to say, we're gonna continue this.
Well, this is like whaling or not is obviously a massive debate in Iceland. It's kind of our culture. It's a culture war basically because it doesn't hold any economic significance.
No,
it doesn't really make any sense, and nobody outside of Iceland wants us to be doing it. It's bad PR, and whatever about like the morality of it vis-a-vis like anything else that is meat. You know, I would argue that in my personal view, I don't see how hunting whale is worse than shooting a cow to an extent. But aside from that, it's
wow. The comment section is gonna go
blow
crazy.
up here.
He's said this before.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up on a farm, so I'm going like. Anyway, regardless of that,
have you ever? Now back to the tough questions.
Did you grow up on a whale farm?
Did you shoot a cow as a child?
Yes.
Okay.
You do realize you can't just shoot them; you have to torture them in order to kill them.
No,
the whales.
Yes.
The whales.
Yeah. I don't give a shit about your fucking cows, man.
No, you don't have to torture a cow.
It's just like, oh man, I've been torturing cows for years. Somebody should have told me I didn't have to do this.
Yeah.
I thought it was in my, in the Constitution.
Yeah.
Some countries have like a military draft, we have to torture cows.
I feel like I have to say sorry for laughing at the thing about torturing cows. I didn't mean to offend.
I feel terrible about this. No, so what I was going to say...
I was trying to tell a joke.
Well, what I'm saying essentially is whatever I feel about like the moral implications of whaling,
Yeah.
I think it's become utterly insane to continue it. It makes no economic sense, and everybody hates it outside of Iceland. But it has lingered on as this really weird sort of cultural
because
war.
of this one guy.
Yeah. Well, not only because of him, because it seems to be like a talking point that kind of works somewhere in the right of the Icelandic political spectrum.
Yeah, but still, it's like
it's like gun rights in the U.S. It's about more than guns. It's like an identity thing.
Yeah. That's why it's kind of
like a group of 10 people.
Yeah, I mean scaled down. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's just a weird. Like it defies logic. It's really weird. But I
feel like the right has also has championed it as they realize that it upsets the left more and more.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a wedge issue, basically.
But it's similar because earlier we talked about, in earlier episodes, we talked about þorramatur, the spoiled food that we eat once a year at Þorrablót.
Just to prove how tough we are.
Yeah, it's a similar thing. It's like we just hunt whales just because we believe it's a part of the Icelandic heritage.
Yeah, which is also incredible.
We don't keep them in check; they'll take over the country.
Because prior to the 20th century, or like I don't know, prior to 1950s, I guess.
Yeah,
we didn't commercially hunt whale. That was the Norwegians who came here, or the Spanish before them, or the Basques.
Yeah, we couldn't, even if we would have wanted to.
The only whale we ate were beached whale. Because we didn't know we didn't have the equipment to kill them. And
so
it goes back to like how funny the Icelandic language is that the Icelandic term for like a massive, running into massive lock is still mikill hvalreki, or a great beached whale. so I guess we weren't really picky about our food back in the day.
Yeah. No. Oh my God.
Anyway, I kind of wanted to go into a completely different thing.
It's a good example of why sometimes I feel like, people always argue that culture must be preserved. Sometimes culture is just not worth preserving.
Yeah, but also
it should just be allowed to die.
And also in this case, this isn't even a part of our culture.
No, not
it never
really.
was. I mean, if
But I mean, like people are arguing that. Like, what is culture really?
Yeah,
like anything you say is culture can be considered culture.
Yeah, I mean, how real is the Icelandic language? How real is our national costume? It's all 19th century make-believe stuff, basically, at the end of the day. So, sure, I mean, whaling is a little later to the game, but it's as Icelandic as eating pizza.
Yeah, but that's like really Icelandic.
Yeah, right. No, it's not as Icelandic as eating pizza. It's actually...
I mean,
it's
eating
just
pizza is just part of... I mean... We have the most successful Domino's pizza chain
on Earth.
Yeah, on Earth.
Wow.
It's like
I think we also have the most successful IKEA store on Earth.
Yeah.
I wonder what the numbers are for Costco.
Everyone's fucking living room looks the same.
Yeah, everything looks the same here.
Yeah, it's nice. And we also have like apparel, where everyone gets their Ítala glasses and glassware.
Of which you should never remove the sticker, so people absolutely know it's an Ítala glass.
I was once a guest in a dinner party where I was served a drink in a glass with a sticker on it, and I, of course, like removed the sticker, and it like caused a scene. And it's like I was not welcome there anymore.
Was it for the better if you think of it?
No, I mean, it's like...
No, I mean, I'm just... Don't have to.
I really don't get it. Why would you keep a sticker on... It's like if I bought a really nice T-shirt and it was like, I'm going to leave the price tag on it.
People do that.
I guess isn't it more like...
bourgeoisie, that's what it is.
Isn't it more like, people who wear their favorite UK football team shirt all the time? They just want you to know.
But then you should just buy...
I feel like that's
Ítala glasses with it's like painted on or something.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, you could be more pragmatic about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, have you never washed these glasses? Are they brand new? Am I the first person to drink from this glass or eat off this plate?
The commitment to being bougie is immense. Like, you have to hand wash these glasses in a way that leaves the sticker on, I guess.
But after that, it's like it's a promise I made myself. I always remove the stickers.
Yeah, I think it's really weird to keep stickers on things that cutlery and
I even do it when I'm at someone's house and I see it it's like a cabinet somewhere. I see the glasses. I go and peel off the stickers.
You're the guy who's been doing that.
Yeah.
God damn it.
If not for you, everybody would still have their stickers on their Ítala glasses.
I mean, I feel it's
You're not the hero we want, but the hero we deserve.
Yeah. Not all heroes wear capes.
Yeah.
Well, I guess talking about capes.
I like leaving stickers on shit.
Which is
I like stickers. What I also like is leaving them on shit and see how long it takes before somebody shows up at your house and removes them. Like spot the OCD person. Like
speaking of capes, which is what justices wear in Iceland and a lot of other countries.
Wow.
They do.
No
wigs, but capes.
They're robes, though, right?
Robes, sorry.
Yeah. They have sleeves, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Is that the...
Not all heroes wear robes.
No.
Definition?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's technically,
Looks the same.
Well,
kinda.
A chasuble is like a religious thing with no sleeves. I think they're robes. I think if it's
they are robes.
If it's open in the front
yeah.
and it's got sleeves and it's like floor length. Now I gotta know this shit because I'm a writer. Like I have to know all these things.
Open in the front, formal in the back.
Yeah. You can lift those robes up, no problem.
This is also how
full unimpeded access.
This is also how all Icelandic justices have to cut their hair.
Never guess what kind of books I write.
Anyway, our current Minister of Justice.
Are you the translator for Ísfólkið?
Oh man. Our current Minister of Justice, Ásthildur Lóa.
I was the translator for Blikt og Blátt, but they're out of print now. I'm sorry. Keep going.
Our current Minister of Education, Ásthildur Lóa Þórsdóttir.
Yeah.
She was the Justice Minister a minute ago.
No. Ásthildur Lóa.
No.
So which one is it?
She's the Minister of Education.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
She did, I guess it was Wednesday, she slammed the Icelandic justice system for being just shit.
Yeah.
Which is unusual of a stance from an Icelandic minister. Usually, she's from the People's Party, and they've proven to be a little more sort of rogue when it comes to talking about our institutions. But usually when political parties go into power in this country, the rule that, they're on the inside peeing out instead of the outside peeing in kind of usually applies, but this is a case of
everyone keeps on peeing.
But this is they're on the inside peeing on
he's gotta go somewhere.
Peeing on the floor. So it's very unusual, and it's she's received a lot of criticism for saying this, that she was bad-mouthing the justice system. I guess what is also interesting about the story, it's actually about her house in Garðabær, which is one of the nicest neighborhoods in the country.
Well, it depends.
Or in Reykjavík, I mean, in terms of housing prices at least.
Yeah, okay. But would you ever live in Garðabær?
I would never live in Garðabær.
Yeah, okay. My point. Okay, continue.
It's
please.
A parking lot. It's a very expensive parking lot. So anyway, are you familiar with the story?
Yeah, she actually has withdrawn her statement.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And grudgingly, I think though.
Yeah, the case was against the sýslumaður,
the magistrate.
The magistrates.
Yeah, because she and her husband lost their house due to debts stemming from the financial crisis and the.
In
2008, but it wasn't.
They really are the party of the suburbs, aren't they? It's just all the classic suburban tragedies play out inside this party.
They are the people's party.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Let's not leave that unsaid that most of Iceland lives in suburbs.
And there's a lot of sort of actual kind of real representation going on here.
Yeah.
Which is kind of great, but
they wanted. They believe that some what's it called, fyrnt, when things have gone.
Yeah, the thing
long,
so if you're trying to make a claim, you have to do so within a specific period of time, 4 or 5 years, depends on what it is.
Yeah.
And if you don't do it, no matter how solid your claim is, it's void.
Yeah.
And this is a case of that.
Yeah,
so,
okay, I'm gonna stop. Okay.
But the reason why people felt this was a wee bit over the top, right?
Yeah.
Is because this is because of a house that the minister has lived in since 2007. She lost the house in 2000 and something.
Yeah.
And was allowed to live there and pay rent for some years, and then allowed again to buy back the house in 2017 for basically the same amount of money the house was worth when she bought it originally in 2007. Whereas like the whole market had completely gone from those numbers, and she was just
probably
getting
double
probably,
yeah.
And she was getting like prime real estate back for basically the same money it cost 10 years ago in a country that is famous for its inflation, and its inflation was terrific in 2009, just to point that out.
Terrific.
It was like 18% or something.
Amazing.
It was amazing.
It sure sounds like her beef is maybe more with the housing market than the justice system. I don't know. Which is but perfectly legit.
No, I mean, she
but the thing is, like, she came really well out of this financially. She got to buy back a house like at portion of the market price. And then she's mad about having to pay like, 10 million in interest.
So she's more just like showing off about having beaten the justice system, maybe, rather than
or just
like,
the system.
The system's a bunch of horseshit. I can just do whatever I want.
I really do not understand this beef. I mean,
no, I mean, she got a great deal.
Yeah.
I mean, asking for more sounds outrageous at this point.
But it was.
I mean, it sort of goes with living in Garðabær that you don't really understand how bad some people have it. Like, you think it's just a tragedy to not have a large enough yard to build a patio or whatever.
You've heard about cookies and mice, right?
Cookies and mice? Cookies.
Cookies and mice.
Oh, I've heard of both of those things.
If you give a mouse a cookie, it will just want more, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't the same work for Garðabær? Or Elon Musk?
Wow, this was deep.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you have much, do you want more?
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for real.
But the most interesting
somebody's got to fight for the upper classes.
Yeah, definitely. That's my
I feel like there's some class confusion going on here for a parliament member from the...
Are there any... Yeah, I mean, what...
But this follows kind of hot on the heels of... What was it that Inga Sæland, the chairperson for the People's Party, was saying the other day about... What was it she was bashing? I can't even remember.
Oh, I don't.
Who keeps track of all the things?
Yeah, she was like, the most memorable thing she has done since becoming a minister is like calling this skólastjóri. It's like the
headmaster of a school of her grandson or
the school I went to represent.
Yeah. She was like, you have to find his shoes that he lost or got stolen. I can wield some serious power.
Like, I can make things very hard for you.
Allegedly that happened. He hasn't said anything, has he?
Yeah.
No, but she admitted
it's
to
still funny,
making the
like,
call.
whether or not it happened. Yeah. For real, it's still hilarious.
Can I segue into another?
But can I please say one thing? Sorry, you're such a great host, Jónti, but my favorite thing about the story about the comments that Ásthildur Lóa made was the it's like holy rage
and indignation.
Yeah, righteous indignation
that the members of the Independence Party like showed, but because they're like their Margaret Thatcher is Davíð Oddsson, the current editor-in-chief of Morgunblaðið, which has been a frequent thing of discussion here.
Has unfortunately managed to stay alive, unlike Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah, no comment on that. But he was like, when he was in power as a prime minister, he was like frequently like militant regarding like the Supreme Court when they came to a decision that was not to his taste.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he even made or he was accused of having sort of started to sort of put his people into the court.
Yeah.
And not entirely wrongly accused of that.
No, I mean, his party has like appointed almost every single judge in Iceland.
Yeah.
And he also like publicly shamed the bank before the crash, he was like stormed to Búnaðarbankin, which was like KB Banki or something at that time.
My bank.
The agricultural bank.
Yeah, and it was like, I'm so pissed about the management who are like paying themselves so much money that I will like withdraw all my funds. And it was like, up to a point he almost like suggested the general public would do this, so he was trying to
organize a bank run.
Yeah, it was like, and that was just like okay. It's like, but now
I mean, he fucking ran this place. He still kind of does in a way.
Yeah, I mean, the law is like
the taste of him lingers.
That she lost a court case. And it was just like, you can never.
Well, at least, yeah,
you can never say things like this.
She hasn't gone on. She hasn't gone on TV like. She hasn't stood in front of a camera outside of the courthouse talking shit about the justice system, which is kind of like what the former prime minister was.
Did she just say this on like social media or something?
She was asked for comment. Facebook, and then for some comments afterwards.
Yeah, just what most people do nowadays.
Yeah, and has since withdrawn the comments.
She is what is now called as a Facebook creator. This is what Meta calls people who post on Facebook.
Okay. But she is really like an influencer, if anyone.
Last time we talked about somebody who got picked up by the Coast Guard in the middle of the Highlands and tried to hike across Iceland and been stuck in a tent for a few days in a snowstorm.
We've all been there.
Yeah, like, and you think like, okay, this is pretty crazy. It doesn't get any worse than this. And then, what do you know? Like a day later. Or this was Thursday actually, last week. The search and rescue found a tourist that had last been seen last Saturday in the town of Seyðisfjörður in an aligning fjord which nobody lives in, and this is still March.
Mm-hmm.
And he had been roaming around there without a tent, without any food, without anything. He slept there for 4 nights in sub-zero temperatures, and I don't know what his plan was, but he was the people he was traveling with or something. Were missing him obviously.
Yeah.
And eventually, it took a really long time to get people mobilized to search for him. But he was found, and he was still alive. And he had been he had been eating like I guess last fall's berries and like old berries and moss and roots or whatever the hell. And he was okay. Yeah. Battered, very tired because you can't really sleep at sub-zero temperatures in your jeans or whatever he was wearing. And I was just like, what the fuck? I mean,
but imagine how happy this tourist would have been if he saw a massive beached whale. Like now
start carving that shit up.
Now we understand this Icelandic cultural reference of
got lost in Iceland and gained weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that would have really helped. If the whale had been recently beached, you might have do like in Empire Strikes Back. Just cut the hole in it and sleep in it.
Sleep in there, yeah. Certainly big enough.
And probably has a great sort of central, core temperature?
Yeah, I imagine it would stay warm for longer than a horse. Yeah.
Could be a good idea.
I'm just making notes.
How about the cow?
If it's been tortured, then
If it's a mad cow, its blood is up.
Yeah. If it's a Þorgeirsbóli.
No, but this is entirely incredible to me because I have no idea. Because to get to Loðmundarfjörður, which is just north of Seyðisfjörður, it's not really that long of a hike. So
not
speaking.
Really. Yeah.
So you
could even do it in jeans.
You're in Seyðisfjörður, which is in the east of Iceland, which is where the only ferry that comes from the continent is at, and it's a small, cute town. Nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
And if you want
I like how unmotivated they were to go look for him. It's just like, I'll be fine.
I think they were like, that just can't be.
Yeah.
There's no way somebody just walked out there. Anyway, so it's a fjord, and to get to Loðmundarfjörður, you have to go to the north side of this fjord. You have to go to the mouth of the fjord, basically, pass like a mountain, and then sort of walk into the next fjord. And there's not a lot of sort of flat land there. You're kind of walking.
This is not a jaunt you do on a whim, is what you're saying.
No, and
at some point, you must have thought, is this a good idea?
I'm sure it'll be fine.
And this is what you expect people to do all the time, and then they don't. Stop, look around, and go like, should I be doing this?
Yeah, but maybe he was like thinking, if this was a bad idea, someone would have stopped me. But in Iceland, you don't really get stopped.
No, because it's because when you get to the mouth of the fjord, at that point you should be picking up that it's not really easy to walk. It's all sort of hilly, like a mountain leading straight into the ocean with like a tiny beach of rocks.
Yeah.
And then there's just a lot of that for a while.
Perhaps the opioid epidemic is to blame. And if you're on MDMA, it seems like a great idea for hours and hours, and you definitely have the energy.
And then he was lingering there for 4 nights, and I think now at this point I should point out this is also really weird to me. Maybe because just I live here and I don't find this too complex or something, but you walk this way and there's no way to get disoriented. You're just walking the coastline. You have
landmarks everywhere.
You're walking the coastline, and the way you came is the way back.
Yeah.
And like how you end up, like, I don't know, this is like 15, 20 kilometers away or something. It's not that far. How you end up staying there then for 4 nights, 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
Was he traveling with his in-laws?
It's a very good question.
Yeah. I know my in-laws watch this. It's not directed at them at all. I took a lovely trip with them.
It's back
in the
a
east.
few months ago.
Yeah,
to California.
Yeah, my in-laws live in the east, so this is not
maybe
something I would do, but it's like I know the landmarks.
Yeah,
I've been there with my in-laws, so yeah. But
they
are great. They are terrific.
Great. So are my in-laws.
Yeah.
We really are reaching
I'm
the most important people in the world with this show. Just like all our in-laws.
I'm glad we've got this out of the way.
Yeah.
So it's the same question as last time with that guy in the Highlands. Like, why? And yeah, in-laws, really? Drugs, possibly.
Yeah, but there must.
These are the largest motivators in my life.
Drugs and your in-laws.
Yeah.
Have you done drugs with your in-laws in the East?
You don't have to answer that, but
if you want to answer it, please do.
Probably not the same drugs at the same time, but I guess we've, had drinks together. That's a drug.
Yeah. Okay.
Good answer.
Yeah.
So have I with my in-laws. What about you, Aðalsteinn?
With drugs.
Time to come clean.
Alcohol.
Yeah. All the time.
Yeah, all the time. The key to the relationship.
It's Iceland, yeah.
I think
it's like the only thing we have in common. Geo.
I just want to put it out there that everybody
to their daughter, so we have that in common.
Everybody who still cares is now focused on the eruptions in Reykjanes, which is not the 3 of us. So let's continue with the next thing.
Oh my God, these eruptions! When
is it erupting again?
No, it hasn't erupted yet.
It's like, but all the scientists are like, oh, it's gonna happen like any minute now, and they're like really saying any minute now. It's not today or tomorrow. It's just like
Magnus Tumi,
maybe our foreign minister acquired the right to the Reykjanes Ridge in the hope that these geologists would just fuck off to the bottom of the ocean. It's like, go study that for a while.
Yeah, the geologist from the University of Iceland, Magnus Tumi, was saying like any hour now.
Yeah.
Or at least within the next few days. I think he
okay, so I was exaggerating.
Any hours now is like close. It's closer to minutes than days, right? No, maybe not. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
Depends on how you look at it.
An hour is closer to a minute than a day, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, in terms of units.
Yeah. Units of time. Alcohol that we have.
So we don't have to talk about that. Do you guys want to talk about this last week's extremely weird and rare murder case? Just to like end on a really deep, dark note.
Yeah, it was a bit scary.
It's very scary.
Yeah.
I think as far as we just get bits and pieces at this point. But as far as I know, some guy in his 60s who lives in Þorlákshöfn was picked up somewhere in that vicinity by
what seems to be a group of
people. And there have been at least 5 or 6 arrests, and most of those have been detained, I think.
3 of them been like 8 or 9 arrests, and 4 or 5 have been detained.
So this man was taken by a group of people into a car, beaten so badly that after this group dropped him off near a playground in the suburb of Grapevine, where he was found on, was it Tuesday morning?
Yeah, and just to note, it's like a 50-minute drive from Thorlaksöfn to Grapevine.
Yes.
At least.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And he was taken to the hospital, but he did not make it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like the information is scarce. There's not a lot of details. We've seen sort of names floating around of sort of famous thugs, Icelandic thugs. But the range of the people that have been apprehended was like from 18 and then from people in their 40s.
Mm-hmm.
It's really like a weird one for, like, this is, we pride ourselves with having a very low murder rate. And it has been on the rise this century, though. Last year was pretty terrible in terms of murder rates.
Yeah.
And already this year we have 2, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just...
There have been some reports that they got some money out of him. It's like he made some bank transfers during this window of time, according to RÚV, the state
broadcaster.
But this is like the police is not giving a lot of information.
I don't know, which is understandable.
Yeah.
No, it's yeah. I guess I just wanted to mention this as a reminder that, you know, even though we seem like a small hobbit community in the middle of the North Atlantic, we also have our problems.
If a gang of weird men offer to give you a ride somewhere, don't do it, I think is the lesson here.
Mm-hmm. I think they really didn't offer.
No, I think it was not an offer. It sounds like more of a
demand,
coercion.
I'm just trying to think of something to take away from this.
Yeah,
I don't know. It sucks. I mean, this story will obviously develop and we'll know more later, but the names that have been sort of dropped here are names of people who have, I don't know, made a living of beating people up for money almost.
Yeah.
Or sort of been in moving on those circles.
Yeah, it's known figures in Iceland.
Yeah.
Connected to this.
Professional thugs.
Yeah.
I think it's worth mentioning that we have those, like, just, you know, people that it's widely acknowledged that is what they do for a living, you know, whether or not we can legally say so or not.
Well, yeah, I mean they've gotten some on their tax returns, but we used to have this guy called Jón Trausti. Do you remember him?
Oh yeah,
he died a few years ago.
Yeah, unsurprisingly from his lifestyle choices.
Yeah, but he had like a limited liability company, which was called like enforcement and something.
Yeah. well,
you want to make any money in this country, you got to start a company. Like LLC. Everyone knows that.
It was like a really transparent name.
That's a very
I wonder if he was like about to beat someone up, like a financial advisor, and he was like, no, please, I have great advice for you. If you really want to make some money doing this, you start an LLC and you use that as like a front. Like,
you know, the real violence is the IRS.
Yeah.
It was a conservative accountant. No, so which actually, like, I was Googling one of the names of the alleged perpetrators, and I found out that back in 2017, that guy whose name I'm not going to say because I like to stay alive.
You like your limbs?
I like my limbs. And another bunch of dudes whose names are also familiar of the same context actually started the limited liability company back in 2017 called Fjórir grjótharðir, which roughly translates badly to 4 rock hard.
Yeah.
Which sounds worse than it actually sounds in Icelandic.
It sounds exactly the same.
So maybe they were trying to move into...
Like the Icelandic version of 4 non-blondes.
Maybe they're...
It's like, I mean, how is it to be a writer in this environment where everything is like more absurd than anything you could
ever think of?
Yeah.
You just look at this.
That's a good question. It seeps in. It's more than you realize. Like, because when you're showing it to sort of foreign, editors or agents or publishers, they're like, "This is insane," and I'm just like, "Oh, I just thought this is how the world is," but I guess maybe it's just more like how Iceland is.
Yeah. So some of the stories I've written over the years, I was like, if I would try to get this published as a fiction, people would think like this is way too over the top.
This is too crazy to. Yeah, this is kind of like sometimes it's kind of like the jokes will never make it out of the writer's room because they're just too stupid to actually come true, and then they happen.
The stories that could be told, like if people didn't fear for their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think we are out of time.
Yeah.
This has been a great pleasure of mine. Always delighted to have you guys on.
I, for one, am thoroughly pleasured.
I'm just okay with this.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, at least somebody's keeping a leveled head. That's very good. Aðalsteinn, that's your job.
Thank you.
An investigative journalist.
Mm-hmm.
At the Source.
At the Source, the foremost Icelandic hip-hop magazine about crime.
Yeah.
Something. Thanks for listening or watching.
Yeah. From the offices of the Reykjavík Grapevine, the 3 rock hards, adieu.
Also, like, if you want to give us money, we would spend them on better curtains, just so you know.
Yeah, and
you would really see.
Then maybe we would pay Sindri and Aðalsteinn.
Who knows? I mean, I don't have to get paid if we could get like refills on the coffees.
You can go get one. No.
Yeah,
but
you can get as
like
much coffee
during
the.
Yeah. I mean, that's not stinginess. That's just logistics. You don't want to open the studio door, right?
Yeah,
that's what I'm telling you at least. I don't know.
I'll be impressed with Roombas when they make one that can like make you a coffee and like.
No, it's like in Iceland. I love to go to the gas station and get pumpukaffi.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. The pump.
Yeah,
it's like when they make like
pumped
3-4 liters of coffee and have it in this big thing. It was like.
Yeah.
And my favorite one is like not
drip
with
coffee. It's called
drip
in
coffee.
America, yeah.
It's not like the one with a handle that lifts, but with the actual thing, the button that goes.
Oh yeah, that's excellent. Yeah,
the one that makes the toilet noise.
Yeah, it's like
that's
flushing.
My favorite.
It's kind of like flushing thing.
Yeah, it makes it very easy to picture exactly what's going to happen to this at the end of its journey through your body.
Exactly.
I think what you would really like is a proper North American road trip. You would really love that. That's where they get you. Like you fill up the tank.
Yeah.
And you're maybe if you indulge, you could get like a 1970s, say a Lincoln Continental or something, and just borrow something insanely.
I've done 2 of these, and it was some of the best times of my life.
And it spends like 2 gallons a centimeter or whatever. It's probably an inch. Sorry,
an inch.
And when you fill that thing up, it takes forever. And while you do that, you will fill like what would be the proper imperial
a box of Joe?
No, like a coffee cup the size of was it ounces? What the hell is it like?
Yeah, but ounce is like a small thing.
But
it's like a pint of coffee.
Do they use pints? I don't know. Whatever they use in America.
Coffees are in ounces. Yeah.
Yeah, like
20-ounce coffee.
More.
No, they would never use a number that ends with 0. It's going to be like 12 or 24. I mean, I guess there's 40 ounces. There's the 40 of beer.
It's a good reminder that it's very hard for us to understand the imperial system of numbers.
It sounds nicer. I use the imperial system when I write because it just sounds better.
Really?
Yeah.
And we should tell
it has more poetry to it.
And it's also a reminder that only 2 sovereign nations in the world still use the imperial system. Can you guess which?
The US and Myanmar.
And on that great trivia, we'll say goodbye for now. See you next week.
Toodles.
Tack.
Bye-bye.